He's got a microphone and his very own YouTube show. Dusty. You can't help but love him. He's everybody's friend. He's gonna make Australia great again. He's got no sponsors or fancy slogans. The Dusty Bogan. He's the Dusty Bogan. Dusty. Where's the Dusty Bogan? We love the Dusty Bogan. Dusty. He's the Dusty Bogan.
Fucking yo! How's going, YouTube and Dlive and Trovo? We're rocking it. We got our special co-host, ex-military Riano Keeves. How you going, mate?
I'm doing good, brother. Doing good. Just happy to be here with you on this fine thirsty Thursday afternoon.
You. It's been a while. I think it's been 3 months, maybe longer, 4 months since we've had a Thirsty Thursday show.
Oh, it's good to be back on the bandwagon.
Bloody
I say you meant to jump off, but I say full reins ahead, brother.
Never give up.
Never
I
give
got to
up.
pick the moments with the young lad. I swear I'm like, the world's changed since I've had a boy. And it's like, you know, I've got to behave myself. You know what I mean? I can't be pissing the missus off and burning the candle at both ends. But where there is a will, there is a way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, trust me, with an 11-year-old daughter, I know how you feel, brother.
Right. Yeah,
Gets worse when they're girls, eh?
I'm sure I'll have a daughter eventually. So we got Hillbilly and Sonic in the chat. He's going, and a few other blokes. Thank you for tuning in. Yeah, and I don't know how Trovo is going to go. Yeah, it's working. Sick.
Awesome.
Anyone? One person's watching on Trovo. Thanks for watching, person on Trovo. That's awesome.
You're the VIP of today's show, Trovo.
Damn straight. I think this is the first official ever stream to Trovo. So sub to me channel. You'll be my first person ever sub. And yo, the Dusty Sheila, my own missus gave me an ice cream on Dlive. How good's that? She doesn't hate me. No.
She not yet, anyway.
I thought I was going to get yelled at for doing a fucking live stream. Nah, joking.
All good.
All good, mate. We got fucking...
Someone's watching on Apple TV, eh? Nice little setup there.
Oh, there you go. Legend. Love and life. Apple. We haven't been deplatformed off Apple, mate. We're fucking... Riano Keeves is the inside man on the Matrix, and he's making sure all my fucking connections are live, mate.
Got to get those fuzzy connections out of here. Only the straightest of connections in this house.
Super straight, mate. Super straight.
Super straight.
Isn't it queer month? I think it's queer month, isn't it?
Pride month, yep.
Pride month. And then I heard I think it was Milo Yiannopoulos was like, it's actually Sacred Heart of Jesus month. And I was like, well done, Milo.
Well, he's not gay anymore, so I guess he can say that.
He's fucking super straight. I think he said he slipped up once in 12 months or something.
What, slipped and happened to fell on a dick?
Yeah. His demons came back, you know.
I don't blame him, but he must have some demons inside of him. Especially after that. Especially after he got cancelled. Well, they tried to cancel him after the Joe Rogan episode that he was on, talking about him turning on the priest because he was the predator in the situation. And it's like, you're 15, 16, and you're talking about being with older men. Apparently it's not that big of a deal in their community.
It's pretty fucked up. I think he did like a Jordan Peterson like interviewed him after that, and like Jordan was probably like, Milo, you're the fucking victim, mate. Like, and kind of like had to get him like back on the bloody to reality. Oh, my fake Dusty Bogan is in here. How you going, mate? I think there's some fake Dusties floating around on Telegram too. So someone sent me a message and they were like, are you having a full-on argument with this person? I can't. It was some like Mark or something. I'm like, who the fuck's Mark? He's like, you're in a chat right now arguing with him. I'm like, I don't know who fucking Mark is. I'm not arguing with them. Yeah.
That is hilarious.
Like, so don't argue with fake Dusties.
All right.
Hopefully
I won't argue with any fake ones. I'll just argue with the real one.
Yeah, bring it on to the real Dusty. It's all good.
See, that's one thing about you, though. You're open to have a conversation with people. And a lot of the times people think they're getting into arguments, but it's not about the argument side of things. It's about having a convo and learning where people stand on different ideas and ideologies.
For sure. I mean, I have had a fair few waves of Nazi fucking trolls trolling my Telegram, and I kind of just block them because I just go, I don't want to fucking hear it. So I haven't really like debated or chatted much to them guys, but I just go, oh man, I fucking heard it 1,000 times and I'm not into it. So instead of like, and sometimes they just come into chats and take it over. So then it's just like it all becomes that one subject for eternity. And I just go,
yeah.
First 5 minutes, it got boring for me. Do you know what I mean?
No, I know exactly what you mean, man. I've been online for the last 15 years. Started off playing Call of Duty and all that on the Xbox and PlayStation 3. And you used to hear it back then from edgy teenagers that thought they were being hard. And it's like, ideology it's vile. It is absolutely vile. For them to want to push that upon other people is reprehensible.
It just gets boring.
It does. It gets boring.
It's kind of like reading the Quran. Like, I don't know if you've ever read the Quran. It's a very repetitive book. I think I didn't get too far into it. Like, I've studied it through it twice, and it's a labor. You have to really labor your way through it, and it's like very, very repetitive. So anything that's super, super repetitive to me, I just go, fuck. This is hard for me to process because it's become boring now. You know what I'm talking about? So my fake Dusty said dark energy spamming. That's right. That's what I call it.
Dark energy spammers, yep.
Because it's just negativity. See, my boss, he's quite a negative guy, right? My boss is very negative. My mum's very negative. So personally, I've surrounded myself with some trapped into work, and my mum, very negative. So then I go, when I'm surrounded, if I can tap out of a friend connection that's negative, I will. I'll just be like, nah, done. If people want to be continuously negative, I'll just say, mate, I'm not here to save the world. If I can't, do you know what I mean?
I get it completely, man.
It might be a personality. It might be like, I was talking to my wife about it. I'm like, I need to be able to deal with these situations better than walking away, because my reaction for so long is to just go, I'm done, and walk away.
Sometimes you got to be the bigger man, though, and just walk away from it. Like you said, if you're getting overwhelmed with negative shit from outside of your life, whether it's work, mum, other places, you don't want to be dealing with negativity 24/7, because that just puts you in a negative headspace.
Yeah, that's it. And not that, growing up, it was more like growing up with my mum. I was like, oh, you're so negative, which was great because it pushed me into work and to be like, I want to get my own place. I want to get away from this, which was super beneficial. I'm so grateful for that. You know what I mean? It had a huge positive benefit to me, and probably with my boss at work, it's probably beneficial because I just go, yeah, mate, whatever, it's all right, and we just do the job, and you can't argue with the guy. There's no point. So I just go, right, I suck it up, and I get on with the job and try to fucking, you know what I mean. That's how I do it. Because you can't win, Dusty. Oh. Yeah, I don't know if you believe that like Hitler was right. I don't know if there was any convincing. Like, if you believe that with all your heart, like the guys who try to spam my chat, and I just go, mate, I don't know. Can you even argue with that if they totally believe that? I'd be like, nah, dude, I'm a Western chauvinist. I believe in Western civilization. Like, we fucking won that war. We defeated them. We liberated the Germans and the fucking Japanese and the whole planet Earth from some wild ass belief systems. You know.
Absolutely, we did. That was the whole point of it's not about winning against them because they don't have a leg to stand on. And I can say that because I'm a double leg amputee. But it's not. Yeah. It's already been defeated. Like, they had their chance, they missed out on it. It's time to move on.
It's time to move on. You're never going to be able to revive that. It's like communism. It's over. The commies killed too many people. Like, anyone who keeps pushing communism or national socialism, the brand is dead. There's no reviving it.
No.
It's over.
That's where civic nationalism civic nationalism comes in.
Civic nationalism, being conservative, being a bit more libertarian, finding that balance, you know, hopefully having a society that's like voluntary. I like democracy. I think it's like when you're working, you work your ass off. At least you get a vote, you get a say, you can get called up for jury duty. You get to be a part of the legal system. It's like you've kind of got a bit of skin in the game. Do you know what I mean? It's like
and you've got to have skin in the game to make it worthwhile. You've got to have that skin in the game, absolutely, to make it worthwhile. Having no skin in the game. You can't
participate in these decisions and in the community and the culture. Then you just go like, well, what's the fucking point? You know, like.
Yep.
And I really hope, like. Yeah, when people when people go, oh, the US election was stolen, it's like, yeah, if it was stolen, that would be devastating. Do you know what I mean? Because then it's like they've stolen the core to Western civilization, and that is our ability to have skin in the game and to participate, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, it becomes frustrating when people who don't have skin in the game want to throw their opinion in the ring like it matters when they've got absolutely no say in what happens because they're not being civil in nature.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What did someone say back here? Why don't you just debate them? And it's like, this is the thing in my Telegram chat. The reason I don't debate in the Telegram chat is, like I was saying, how I haven't done a live in 3 months. I don't have the social time. Like, since having a kid, he's 6 months old. I think at the start of it, he was a real good sleeper. And I was doing lives Thursday, and I was going out doing man on the street stuff for Censored TV. And then it sort of came to a point where my missus is like, I need your help more because she was not getting as much sleep. And then I was like, right, I gotta pull things back. Even the Telegram chat's like, mate, if I'm on the phone like this, when I do get home and I've got that window of opportunity to help her with my boy before he goes to sleep, like I'll be getting these ones.
Oh, yeah. It's definitely not fair on her.
So it's like when I wake up in the morning and I got an hour between waking up and going to work, then I got, half an hour smoko, half an hour lunch, and a few hours in the afternoon. I do not want to be debating people who are coming into my Telegram chat just to troll. Like, I don't want to spend my free time doing that.
And you don't even have enough time. You don't even have enough time. It's not about the time for trolls, you don't have the time to take out and work out who out of those people aren't trolls and want to actually have a debate. Because the people that come in aren't being civil in nature.
No.
They want things to be chaotic. They want to create a mess.
Someone said they came in, they were like, gas all the Jews. And then I'm like, what the fuck's going on? I booted the guy, and then one of his mates is like, why didn't you want to debate him? I'm like,
that's not. What are you going to debate? That? Yeah.
Can you debate that?
Yeah,
that's
absolutely
mental, mate.
Debate it at all.
And I was like, I always think like people who come in hot, it's like they're like a Fed posting, bro. They say that to screenshot it in your chat to go send to the Guardian or something. Like it could be Antifa, could be anyone. They're just there trying to get your fucking chat taken down.
Yep.
You know, get a fucking hit piece written about you.
Yeah, unfortunately, they figure that is easier these days than being able to actually have a one-on-one conversation with people. They think it's easier than, well, it is easy because everything's anonymous behind the internet when you want it to be.
Let me jump back to Trovo. Oh yeah, we've still got one viewer on Trovo. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you.
Good on ya.
Yeah. Oh, we got tonight's. We were going to do a little bit of a look at some of the UFO stuff that's happening. I think we've got Biden. We'll watch this little clip. See if this works.
President Obama says that there is footage and records of objects in the skies, these unidentified aerial phenomenon. And he says we don't know exactly what they are. What do you think that it is?
I would ask him again. Thank you. Come on, boss, let's go.
That's it. What a fucking loser. They just give him such an easy ride of things, eh?
Compared to how they treated Trump for the last fucking 4 years. They clapped him for ask him again. Really? They golf clapped him for that?
You're a hero. And it's like the Pentagon's due to release the fucking report, like about the UFOs or some shit. Like, come on, mate. You're asking him one of the hardest questions on earth, and people are keen as fuck to hear the answer. And the guy palms it off like that, and they're like, golf clap him. It is bullshit. Trump would have shirt fronted them fucking all day.
Oh, he would have led them around the bush, but then come back on topic. Like, he's a brilliant spokesperson. That is one thing that he does well, is having the ability to pick up and read the situation with each conversation that he has. That's one thing I liked about him personally.
And he would break their balls. Every time I'd swear, it'd make me laugh just watching him, because he's kind of like, he's like, these journalists aren't on my side. He knew that they weren't on his side, so he'd kind of rib them a little bit, you know what I mean? Give them a bit of sledging.
They deserve it.
They do. Alan reckons bring back the X-Files. That was good.
I loved the X-Files.
It was fucking good.
Fucking loved it. Used to be a fucking great show.
Yeah.
And
I forget.
Used to be a fucking great show.
Molly, Scully, and what? Mulder or something?
Yeah, Mulder and Scully. Yeah.
There you go. Fuck yeah. I remember, I grew up in New Zealand. I lived in New Zealand from grade 1 to grade 5. So I remember watching X-Files and Aliens and Predator and shit, being young, and then we'd go out at 12 o'clock at night and ride our push bikes out into the woods, and we'd be like, fuck. We'd be frothing at the mouth thinking the aliens are going to, get one of the board, and like, oh my God, someone falls off the bike and you lose them, and you're like, the aliens got him. Yep. We loved the shit. We loved it.
Yeah, that was the first real eye-opener for, I think, a lot of people to try and think about what's out there. Because it's a vast universe. fucking vast universe.
Yeah, I reckon. And I seen how. Have you followed the who's this dude? The fucking guy who's on Joe Rogan, Bob Lazar. You followed Bob Lazar?
Yep.
And wasn't he saying he's like, oh, he said that he reckons they dug up the spacecraft that he was working on. He reckons it's an ancient alien like artifact. And he reckons that the fuel cell, it's like F7 or some shit. That's not, I'm just saying, it's something like that. Whatever the fuel is that runs these craft, he was saying, he was like, oh, it's like interdimensional. So he's like, it's probably of like a different Big Bang, different, you know, because maybe if people subscribe to a multiverse kind of thinking, he was like, yeah, this stuff is like interdimensional. These aliens might even not be of this dimension. They could be like coming in that craft.
The element that you're talking about, he said it is not found. It's element 115, and it served as a nuclear fuel. Which had never been found until the 90s or middle of the 2000s when they got the tiniest element of it. And it was the first time it had ever been created on Earth.
Yeah. And they was it on one of these colliders where they smash particles together and then they film it in slow-mo and they whatever. However they do it.
Yeah,
using one of them colliders,
scanners, and
one of these colliders in Europe or something, and they were like, "Oh, we found this new A15 fucking element or whatever it was," and it like verified his story because he was out there saying this, I don't know, 20 years before they actually found this element and could confirm it as a real thing.
His story goes back to the 80s, and his whole story is very interesting considering parts of his schooling have been wiped from the records, part of his employment at the original lab that he worked out at S4, which is an area near 51. Like within that framework of Area 51 is an area called S4. That was the lab he worked at. And how can he talk about this stuff and not have prior knowledge of it? Like, it seems unfathomable.
Didn't they go in there? I'm pretty sure someone was saying they went into it was either one of the places he worked or the university, and they were like, nah, he's not on the record, completely denied it. And then
then he was in the phone records.
Yeah, it was in the plaque. There was like a plaque where it's like etched. The names are all etched in, like the different professors or people who have doctorates or something. And there's his name, and they're like, "What the fuck, dude?"
His name was in the phone records as well for the S4 lab.
Yeah, like this whole thing's been fucking built and etched into steel years ago. What's going on? Someone's saying here, my mate here, this troll, he's like, Dusty, you're going to take the vax. I've already had arguments with my boss about this, going off topic. My boss is from Italy, so he's like, I think they had a tough trot with COVID at the start. So he's very paranoid. He's real paranoid on it. And I'm like, look, mate, if I was like, I just put it on him and I'm like, look, mate, if I was like you, a smoker, unhealthy, old, fat, diabetic, I would probably consider it when I'm like 65 like you and high risk. And I'm like, but right now I'm fucking young and fit and strong. And I just sort of like say that to him and he'll be like, fuck. And then and I kind of do this one if they say, we joke around now, we ask each other. If he asks us, we say, oi, we start asking each other, have you taken the shot? Have you taken the shot? And then we'll be like, yeah, have a shot every morning before work. And then he'll just go like, fuck yes. Good. So it's good. We've already started the shit stirring Yeah. Yeah, I do believe, even as a Christian, I believe there's a multiverse. Like, even the biblical story of creation, like, obviously heaven is a heavenly realm. Like, we know of another realm, heaven. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So we know there's more.
There's apparently another two. So there's heaven,
hell.
there's hell, and
there
then
may be purgatory. There might be purgatory.
But purgatory might be on Earth.
Could be. We never know. Like, and there could be beyond that. So I always thought, because I was an atheist before I became a Christian, so as soon as I read it, I was like, oh yeah, totally could be. That could be like. I always thought a multiverse made sense. Maybe theistic evolution made sense inside it. And there's a few things there that I think, like, aren't they even talking about? They've speculated now. They're like, we believe people may have eaten magic mushrooms that made them like become self-conscious, or like that's in the scientific records. That's in the scientific records. I'm pretty sure they now believe that there's a genetic bottleneck where everyone can trace their genetics back to like one female. So all these
the story of Moses and the burning bush.
Mm-hmm.
So they're talking about inside the burning bush what it could have been, and there's a drug called DMT that is inside of the acacia bush, which is most likely the burning bush in the Moses story. So if he burnt all that and was sucking in the smoke from all of that, he could have easily been under the influence of DMT and had an out-of-body experience or a heavenly experience and written down the message that he got from it.
Yeah, for sure. And good on him. And I reckon there's some of these things that are. I think there's enough there for us to think. I reckon there's like the stories in the Bible of fallen angels and fucking around on the planet before God flooded the earth, and there seems to be aliens in the Bible. I would say aliens in the Bible. I believe in aliens. Like,
interdimensional beings.
I'd say that probably. I mean, Bob Lazar said he reckons they're interdimensional. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
Because I don't know if we have. Like Elon Musk said that he was skeptical that there could be life. Yeah, I think he said, "Oh no, there's probably no aliens." Do you know what I mean? And he's probably looking out there at a cold, empty universe going, yeah, maybe not. But I reckon, like, from what Bob Lazar was saying, he's saying, no, it's interdimensional. And even from a biblical sense, that makes sense.
Yeah, it does,
like, that's kind of... And if there's a multiverse with different shit going on, we don't know what the fuck. The potential is... I just think open-mindedly, there is potential. I don't know, but there's definitely potential for it.
True. There's a lot that, when broken down into smaller chunks of info to be able to process through our limited brains, it's very easy to start sticking two and two together and realizing, okay, there's a lot that's been hidden from us over the centuries. To the point that most of the biblical stories, you go back to the Assyrians, from one of the first generations of humans that we know of, they have the same kind of story. God's coming down like in chariots of fire.
Anunnaki and all these like mad stories.
Yep, the Anunnaki, yep.
Yep. There's the Epic of Gilgamesh and all these kind of epic stories. But I think, the Anunnaki is like a pretty cool one. Even that, surely like the Norse mythology and the Greek gods and all that, that has to be some kind of alien god thing that's happening.
Easily. Especially when Well, especially when they've got the same backstories that a lot of the gods from other civilizations have. So you look at the Greek, they've got the gods of war, same as the Norse. They have a god of war. Like, there's so many similarities that it's all got to have come from one place. It has to have.
I think it too. I heard like an atheist or some skeptic, and they said like in the 4 Gospels, right? In the 4 stories of Jesus' resurrection, there's differences. Some people are like, oh, there's an angel, or there's 2. There's all these like what people encounter, like, it's all different, and they're like, oh, it's like someone sees an angel, some sees like a little boy, some sees a man standing there who says something, and then they're like, oh shit, and they're like, people go, ha ha ha, how come the stories are different? And I think like this: if I seen some alien or some angel, and then I tried to explain it to you, how the fuck am I going to be able to explain that to you? So imagine like these people, and they've gone and they're like telling them, and they're like, oh man, it was like this. It was like this. And then you're like, you could have 10 people, and I could be like, it's like this, blah, 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 blah. And then the next guy will be like, but hang on, blah, blah, ask me again. And then I'll be like,
it's just a game of Chinese whispers after
I'm just
thousands of years.
If you're trying to explain something that's supernatural, and you're trying to use limited words to explain it, it might be a little bit different, but it's maybe the same thing. Do you know what I mean? I seen it flying saucer back in 2006, right? Up the Sunshine Coast, midday, 12 o'clock. It looked like a flying saucer. We were watching it for maybe like 4 minutes. Midday, just before lunchtime. So I mean, that's what I think it looked like. I'm explaining that to you. So in 100 years, people might rewatch this and then be like, what a fucking idiot. Ha ha ha. It was this or something. I don't know. But I'm trying to explain to you with my limited language ability what I did see. Do you know what I mean? Maybe my boss, who was sitting right next to me and seeing the same thing, I'm sure he would say it was a flying saucer. That's what we saw. Do you know what I mean?
But I could have been sitting right next to you, and I could have said, oh, it's a dimensional craft.
Yeah. There's different ways to explain shit and go to that deeper element. You know what I mean?
Yep. Yeah, there absolutely is.
What else have we got? I'll see if we can find. We've got the next clip after that shitty Joe Biden shrugging her off and getting his golf clap. Here we go. So we just watch this one. I haven't even seen this whole thing. It's 3 minutes.
U.S. officials are typically
hopefully the sound comes through.
But that is changing.
I'm hearing it.
But look on the ASA. My gosh.
In this video, taken from a U.S. Navy jet, we hear crew reacting to what appears to be a craft flying at high speed.
He got his shout out.
In waves.
Well, if there's look at that thing. It's rotating.
The video comes from a covert Pentagon task force established in 2007 and charged with collecting and analyzing encounters with what are now known as unidentified aerial phenomena, or UAP. After 3 videos were leaked and posted online, the Pentagon confirmed in 2020 that they are authentic recordings made by Navy personnel. The disclosure has officials at the highest levels of government treating UFOs with a new urgency and openness, including a former president.
There's footage and records of objects in the skies that we don't know exactly what they are. We can't explain.
He is an alien.
Their trajectory.
Smooth brain.
Is expected to issue a report soon, providing Congress and the public with an analysis of UFO data from multiple government agencies.
There are things flying over national security installations. We don't know who they are. We don't know what it is. It isn't ours. We need to find out.
It's been 70 years since the Pentagon opened its first UFO study. In recent decades, there has been little official acknowledgement of the phenomenon, though sightings have continued. These cases are often
Is that enough, or should we keep going?
We've been studying UFOs for all these years, and almost all of the evidence is witness testimony. You know, it's understandable, it's exciting, it convinced me years ago and still does, but it is just witness testimony. And you need something beyond that. That's why the Navy videos and all the data is so exciting.
One of the most prominent incidents took place off the coast of California. A U.S. aircraft carrier's radar began to pick up multiple craft moving in unusual ways.
This is interesting.
F-18 jets were sent to investigate. Both pilots and their crewmates described a 5-minute encounter with a cylindrical craft that one described as not behaving within the normal laws of physics. After the craft abruptly disappeared, it reappeared on radar 60 miles away, where a third pilot made this recording. Determining if such objects pose a threat is the report's mandate, but some observers hope the study will go even further in search of answers.
And that's really the point that those of us in the field have always said, is that there's a real phenomena. It deserves serious study.
Matt Dibble for VOA News.
Dang.
See, I think they should be calling it a real... I don't think they should be calling it a phenomena. Phenomena makes it sound like it's not something that is
like
real.
A solar flare or some shit. Like, it makes it sound like it's a mirage caused by some fucking
an incorrect
rainbow or
sensor.
something.
An incorrect sensor on the ships because of whatever reason. For the people that are saying it's the Russians or CCP technology, I'm sorry. That's easily debunked, because if it was, they would have used it to invade by now.
Yeah, they would have fucked us up. We'd be speaking Chinese right now. Ding bong bang. Nah, I know no Chinese. Well, I got a few fucking Clifford C. Thanks for donating the ice cream. We're back on Dlive. I can't believe it. They remonetized me channel, bro.
Hey, it's good to hear.
Yeah, no fooling. No fooling reckons. Looks like Dusty finally caught a day stream. Thanks for tuning in, no fooling. Hit me up on me fucking Telegram chat, bro. He's one of our brothers from America.
Oh, yep.
See, I've like missing out on this whole community, man, on Dlive and the streaming and all that.
Yeah.
It's good to be back. It's good. I reckon I want to make the effort to do a bit more, a bit more streaming up in here. Thanks, Clifford, you legend.
Well, anytime you need a co-host, just let me know. I'll be happy to jump on with you and have a yarn.
Bloody oath. Thanks, brother.
Talk some shit about the world.
I reckon this one is, it'll be interesting to see the report. Do you reckon the report that is going to be like, they're just going to fluff it off and be like, we don't really know what it is, and that's that? We reckon we're going to get something big next week, and we're all going to be like, fuck.
Considering the news at the moment in America is about Dr. Fauci's emails, and the news of the UFO report that is coming out has gone really quiet, it's hard to say. Very...
Do you remember before COVID hit, there was that Area 51? It was like Storm Area 51.
Yep.
And everyone was like, yeah, like I was fucking keen. I think I woke up at 4 in the morning and I was like doing a live stream, like waiting for someone to have live footage, and I was going to like fucking, just be like watching it, commentating on the side, just be like, yeah. But that was sick, dude.
They need an Australian version of that, where we storm the Alice Springs satellite.
Yeah. We should. The giant satellites in Alice Springs. Be like, we want answers.
Yep. The giant satellite readers and the radio.
Well, they would know what the fuck's going on. They know what's going on.
They were helped set up by America, so they should know what's
does
going
everything that is it something like as the satellites get to our part of the world, every bit of information comes through?
Yep.
So do they just hold? Maybe they could just hold off until it's like above a certain dish that is a safe dish, and maybe we get nothing through that dish, like nothing of great value. I don't know. Like, surely that'd be pretty strategic.
They would be strategic, but back in the 60s and 70s, America put a lot of money and a lot of time into building up Australia's Big Brother alliance, and it only has really started to pay off probably since the late 90s, early 2000s, when we started getting a lot of American equipment, like the tanks. We're also getting some new upgraded versions of the tanks that are one of the top 3 to 4 battle tanks in all of the world. Up there with the Israeli Merkava tanks, and it's up there with the British Challenger T90. It's world class. Sweet.
Yeah, heck yeah. I mean, yeah, it goes to, you think like, well, the greatest technology we have, rockets. I mean, you look at the Elon Musk thing here. You think how Elon Musk, I've seen on one of his latest Joe Rogans, he's like, oh no, we're pretty much stuck with jet propulsion. He's like, as green as the world wants to go, we're stuck with rocket fuel. He's like, I see no alternative. That's what he reckons.
Yep.
So we're talking about UFOs. That clearly that video we just watched, it's like some tic-tac thing that's moving all fucking weird and there's no heat signatures. They're eyeballing it and watching it in the real world, and we get to look at the whatever heat sensor, night vision, special fucking camera recording.
Infrared.
There's no heat signature.
No.
There's no jet fuel burning.
There's so we had infrared and thermal vision inside of the M1 battle tanks that we used. We got those from America, and they're
in Afghanistan.
No. This is just in training in Australia. We didn't use their tanks over in Afghanistan or Iraq. We had a couple of guys that were lucky enough to go over deployed with the Yanks into those areas, but we never deployed as an Australian force with tanks. Just using those things in training, and then looking at that video footage, you can clearly tell there's no exhaust port. There's no stream of air coming out from behind it, creating what they call vestibules, which is like the halos around the engine. With a two exhaust or two jet engine, they'll have 2 halos coming around the outside of it into where the actual engine is. None of that on there. So it's clearly not fueled by anything that we've got on this earth.
Must be. It's something that like our mate fucking Bob Lazar's talking about. It's the bloody anti-gravity, some mass fucking different kind of propulsion system, or it's not. It's just the anti-gravity system. Must be the way it's moving.
For the speeds and the ability of it to move so fast across short ground, there's nothing else that can do it. It's got to be anti-gravity easily.
Yeah, that'd be sick.
Would be nice, especially if we could work out a way to get humans inside of them and be able to move like that.
What's going to happen with like that? This is the thing where like all these people who are like all my fucking trolls who are like they don't want immigration at all. What happens when we get the anti-gravity fucking craft and we can fly to the other side of the planet in 10 minutes? What's going to happen then, mate?
There goes any chance of holding immigration to a high standard.
It's just like a thing with modern technology. As much as I, as well, would like to have controlled immigration, it's never going to happen. Well, I mean, it's difficult, and especially if you have a fucking anti-gravity future, you know, flying device where I can fly to America in 10 minutes. I think when I flew to America, we went the long way. We went 12 hours up to Korea, to Seoul, and then another 12, might have been 10 across the Pacific to LA. And like,
it took me 23 hours to get from Sydney to LA.
Shit, that's fucking huge. So what's that one stint? Like a direct flight?
No, it was
you went
two
up.
stints.
You went. All right. Would you go up to Japan or somewhere?
Yeah, through Japan and then across.
It's huge.
Yeah, it gets very, very bloody boring on those long flights. There's only so many movies you can watch before you just want to sleep, and then you get jet lagged halfway through the flight. No fun.
And then you land in LA and just get smashed on tequila, and it's all good, mate. It doesn't matter.
Smoke weed because it's legal over there. It's great.
I think when I went there, it wasn't legal. It was like there was medical marijuana, so people were just like, "Go get a script, dude." They were like pretty much selling scripts, or they're like, "It doesn't matter if you're on holiday. Go to this. Like, here's this thing. Go. The fucking doctor's right there. He'll give you a script." And then there's like all these shops you can go to.
Yeah, it's all legal now.
Yeah, all legal now. There you go.
Yep.
You wonder when
in
like,
California it is. It's all recreational. Yep.
That's fucking great news. And you just, I mean, the pessimists of this world are just like, it's like that didn't even happen. You'd think everyone would be like super chilled and relaxed and be like, yo, let's go smoke a blunt.
I think in the next 5 to 7 years, Australia will have like Australia-wide not recreational. Not recreational. I think Australia-wide will have a standard for prescription so that you can go state to state, territory to territory, and not have to worry about it.
Yeah, that'd be pretty good.
And,
I mean, I don't
to the bloke saying
pot,
drugs are cringe, I'm a double leg amputee with neuropathic nerve pain, and I've been on opioids for the last 7 years because of it. The best thing about it is that it comes from a plant that's natural in the ground.
Yeah, I don't know if I mean, I've had heaps as a concreter. I go from injury to injury. That's just like a common part of being concreter now for 14 years. And like, in the past, I've had that many injuries. I was like, fuck, anti-inflammatories, painkillers, loading up on them, being like, fucking give me antidepressants, like all that, drinking heavily. It doesn't help. It really, like,
not a good mix.
We're fucking, whatever they want to give you, like, you know, I think the medical marijuana, it's might be a better alternative. You know what I mean? This is why I always bang on about like the positive thinking, positive speaking, meditating on my mind, what I'm thinking of, because I've had surgery on my foot and my other ankle, and they always play up. And if I like think of the pain, it fucking gets worse. So I have to think. Use my mind to think elsewhere. Meditate on, like, I call meditation when you're just thinking. It's like purposely thinking about choosing what I'm thinking about. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So if a negative thought or like, fuck, that hurts, I'll just go, nah, zone out and think about a fucking scripture about healing or something. I always bang on about it because I swear painkillers didn't work for me, or painkillers and antidepressants and shit didn't work for me when I was in pain. So I find like I have to train my brain to like not. But you would know, you're in a lot more. Your pain level is way higher than mine. But
yeah, pain's very subjective though. every person will take their pain scale is completely different. I've met people who have been in way worse situations than I have, and they're on barely any medication. Yet I have to take a bucket load each day, morning breakfast, morning around lunchtime, and then in the afternoon. And I'd give anything to not be on opioids anymore, because that's just prescription heroin. Not heroin, sorry, opium. It's just prescription opium. I might as well be back in Afghanistan in the poppy fields fucking draining it myself.
Yeah. Well, fucking let's get that medical marijuana happening. You know what I mean? If they can get that shit and help people who need it, why not? Here we go. We got this comment here. We could never stop immigration from Africa. Is that they had anti-gravity aircraft, so why stop it now? Yeah, I was just taking the piss, mate. Like, we're just taking the piss. I believe in offshore detention and all this shit. Like, how many episodes have I done actually going to the fucking refugee centers at Kangaroo Point and counter protesting the lefties? No one's doing that in Australia other than me. I'm the only cunt going down there and saying you fucking lefties are mental, open borders is retarded.
Yep.
None of these fucking retard black-pilled losers are out there fucking fronting the coward lefties fucking protesting these refugee centers. They're not. They're full of shit. This cunt is full of shit. I have to say it. He's getting a block. He's giving me the shits.
That's your prerogative, brother. It's your platform. Like, you choose who you want to have a voice in their opinion on it.
Yeah. Fuck him. That's the way I'd roll it. I'm just a savage. I don't give a shit. But yeah, I mean, look, I feel like I spoke to a dude today. This is a story. Yesterday I had coals delivered to my house, right? And it was an Indian bloke. And I was like, how you going? Got my groceries delivered. They keeping you busy, mate? He's like, oh, I'm flat out. And he's banging on how he's delivering coals and he's driving Uber. And he's like, yeah, his missus is a nurse. And he's like, I've been here 12 years. I bought my house. Just had my second kid. He's like, I'm doing great, mate. Plenty of hours. And he's like, I'm turning back hours. He's like, I love Australia. He was going on. But then he was banging on. Guess what he was banging on about? He was like, it shits me that people don't have jobs and are dole bludgers, and like half of Ipswich is on the dole. And he's like, I keep turning away work. He's like, it gives me the shit. This is what he was saying. This Indian bloke. And I was like, well, good on you, man. You're like, him and his missus are hard working people who.
Yeah.
And he was like,
assimilated.
He said welfare is killing this country. He's like, it's no good.
Yeah, fucking oath it is.
And if people, obviously people who, like yourself, if people go through tough trots, like my younger brother Black Lungs need a disc replacement. Some of these situations is understandable, but if you're like an able-bodied person who's just an intergenerational dole bludger,
just popping out kids as quickly as you can to get more payments.
And sometimes
stop swearing. Fuck off.
That. Sometimes they're not even
Tell me
doing
to
that.
fucking stop swearing.
Sometimes they're not even doing that, man. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, sometimes they're doing the dodgy with the looking for jobs and getting people to pose as jobs and shit like that. Like, there's a heap of different ways that they can rort the system, but the ability for it to be rorted is it came with good intentions, but it's turned out badly, and there's no denying it.
Yeah, I guess.
Hey, Carl, no one ever said I was Christian, brother. I can swear all the fuck I want.
I'm pretty sure Jesus and his disciples swore. Pretty sure Jesus and his boys, all the fishermen that he got together, were swearing their heads off. The Lord doesn't like a foul mouth. I don't know about that. I reckon Jesus was swearing a little bit.
I absolutely reckon he would have been.
I reckon he was getting the shits with all these people. I reckon there is a big difference. My missus tries to pull me up on swearing. I'm like, when have you ever heard me abusing someone or swearing around children? Or I'm like, the only
time I don't swear is around my daughter. That's the only time.
Yeah. I don't swear around women or children, but I swear around the boys. Like, I swear if anyone came concreting, I just got, I don't know if you met Steve-O, my mate, he's just started work with me. And I was just listening to us swearing our heads off, man. We're all just like cursing and swearing and bantering. And like, it sounds terrible because it sounds absolutely
It's locker room talk.
But we're just breaking each other's balls. Like, we're literally breaking each other's balls and we're laughing it off. And when you're working hard and it's annoying, like, you might be, the boss, that you might get like a design to tie steel and set up some Rio, and it's like impossible to tie. It's like, who designed this? You can't make this work. And there'll be like an engineer talking to you and another boss, and the workers are in there and your arms are just getting ripped to shreds by steel wire, and you'd be like, and then they'll be swearing at you, calling you an idiot, and you'd be like, you do it. But then we all laugh and we don't care, you know what I mean? But my mate just started with us, and I was like, we're gonna corrupt him, because he speaks quite well, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
he's not swearing every second word. And I was like, oh man, when it's like a new person starting with the crew, and I'm just like, oh yeah, I'm conscious of like what I'm listening to. Us swearing our heads off all day, like disgusting. Like,
at least you get it out at work.
we're not like it sounds like we're trying to attack each other and we're being disgusting, but the truth is we're just breaking each other's balls. We're literally having a laugh. We're having a good time. Like, there's no harm in it at all. And there's only men around,
Yeah, I worked in a industry for a long time that was only men. And then we had women allowed in the tank regiment. And I learned pretty quickly that they're just as dirty and disgusting as we are. They talk shit, break each other's balls, essentially, and it's easy.
There you go.
It's easy to get along with them.
I guess concreting might be one of these careers where you're never going to get women in there. I don't know if we're ever going to get women at concreters. Like, I really fucking doubt it. Like, I feel like if there's a female concreter, like, tip of the hat to you, but I feel like if we hired a female concreter, I reckon would be like a month later we'd be getting a fucking workers' comp claim, and it's just gonna not be good, because like we try to actively not get people injured at work. None of us want anyone to get injured, and then it goes through the courts, and there's a lot of money involved in all this if there is some kind of workplace bloody injury, you know what I mean? So I just don't think it's going to happen.
I can't see it happening. And a lot of the push for people in industries aren't in industries where men really are dominant, whether it's the concreting industry, whether it's construction. I know mining, it's a lot easier because you're not as, depending on what area of mining you're in, you're not as laborious as other construction or heavy materials, heavy equipment jobs.
Yeah. And it's good to just banter it up. swear at each other and carry on. Get it off your chest. But yeah, and the women are not going to be able to do it. We were like on a crowbars today, digging trenches and shit. And we were like, there's a digger right there. You could use that digger right. When are you going to jump in that digger and do it in 10 minutes? Boss is like, nah, you're doing it with a shovel. It's like, fuck. All right. No worries. Breakers, we just give him grief. Dusty, what kind of Christian are you? Have you read Mere Christianity? That's probably like, C.S. Lewis, the dude who wrote Narnia. That's the kind of Christian I am, I reckon. He's like I guess he's like non-denominational. He's just like
I thought Christian was Christian.
Yeah, that's what I think Christians are. It's probably because I was like the way I became a Christian, and then I like got my hands on Mere Christianity from C.S. Lewis, and I was like, yep, that seems like not having them denominational boundaries seems to not be good. Anyway. But yeah, we got a fair crack of fucking... What else have we got? We got this little... Another clip on a show us. I don't know if you've seen this one, dude. It's from a year ago. It's like this little goblin.
Probably haven't.
This should be the right one.
4:45 and take a look at this viral video from La Junta in southeastern Colorado. All right, Vivian Gomez wrote on Facebook that her security camera captured this on Sunday morning. There are people on Facebook who say it looks like Dobby from Harry Potter, or a ghost or an alien, or a kid in flip-flops and underwear. We think it looks like Lisa doing her Sunday morning dance. I don't know. Yeah. Lisa, were you in La Junta on Sunday?
I know she was out of town.
Give it away. The video has been seen by 11 million people.
That's going to be the new dance craze right there.
Shit, is that all? There's like a little bit more to it I've seen. But anyway, that's the little goblin, bro. That's from a year ago.
When they said it looks like Dobby from Harry Potter, I immediately thought of the movies, and it very easily could be someone in prosthetic makeup to make them look like a goblin.
Maybe. I think the full clip that I seen, because when this came out a year ago, I was like, yo, that's a little goblin. And I think the lady said it's something like when you turn the screen door, then the camera turns on for like 30 seconds and records it. So she was saying, the lady, if you watch the other video, I'm not going to go chase it up now. She was saying like, yeah, she heard the screen door, the thing turned on and recorded. She went to have a look, and then she was like, there's nothing there. And then she checked the camera and she's like, what the fuck? And then she was like, she thought it was her son. And then she went to check on her son and he was asleep.
Oh.
And she was just like, what the fuck? So she freaked out and she was just like, oh, that's totally weird.
That is
aliens.
Aliens or
if that was the kind of aliens we're dealing with, we'd be all right, I reckon.
Yeah, that's very much a spaceship, Starship Troopers alien that would be taken on. Very easy to dominate them.
Fuck yeah, turn into a piece of KFC, mate. Roll that little sucker in 11 herbs and spices and deep fry them.
It'd be interesting to see what alien tastes like.
I reckon that'd be one of the first things we do as the human race. That's what's going to happen.
Considering there's still cannibals that are alive and well in today's society.
That's what the Papua New Guineans said about us when they first seen us. It's like, fucking, let's eat this alien. But yeah, I reckon that was a little goblin, mate. That's 12 months ago, mate. That was only 12 months ago. That clip happened the same time when this Area 51 fucking storm Area 51's happening. So we've been gearing up to this point of, we're looking at this disclosure from the Pentagon and them coming out saying, yeah, this footage is legit. I guess it's like I don't know if it was a leak or an accidental leak of that footage from the planes. So then I guess they just have to go with it. They have to come up with some kind of report. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Jeremy Corbell, who's also been on the Joe Rogan podcast, he was on there with George Knapp, another guy who does a lot of stuff around UFOs and supernatural things. He's been interviewed by a few American shows that have asked him about what the Pentagon is doing, releasing this kind of information. And there's a global push for more information on this because it's been so muted throughout history. For them to even just say, yes, the videos are real is almost as good as them saying, it's huge. It's almost as good as them saying, yes, those are aliens controlling it.
And I wonder if it's really aliens or is it like a drone? It doesn't really matter. There's something there. So
it could be like the drone we sent to Mars, the helicopter that got sent to Mars. Could be as simple as that, or it could be interdimensional beings.
I'd be very surprised if there's like a little conscious, like gremlin thing in there. If there's like a little intellectual meat suit thing with, super smart driving that fucking pill, the Tic Tac, I'll be more surprised. I would say it's just a drone. That's where I would think we're a drone or it's some interdimensional teleport. It can come in and out of our dimension.
Yep. Oh, yeah. Have you seen the video of the one that goes into water and you can actually see it go under the surface of the water and then it actually breaks into two objects? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's another one that's been released over the last 12 to 18 months.
Yeah. Sweet. This dude reckons aliens aren't real. They are fake. I guess like where are you gonna like seeing is believing. I guess whenever you see this shit or you hear them come out with a statement, like is Carl gonna come out and say if the Pentagon comes out, Carl's gonna be like, nah, it's fucking still fake, mate. Like I seen a flying saucer back in 2006. What can you do? Even my boss said to me when I seen this UFO, we're in the truck, we're driving to a job on the Sunshine Coast. It's like 11 o'clock. He's like, what the fuck's that? He's like, that's a UFO. That's a flying saucer. I'm like, oh shit. And we're just sitting there like driving. And he's like, I'm still like, this is back before Google Maps and shit. So I'm just like with a Refradex, I'm like, you need to take the turn left coming up here. And I think we took a left. And then we like took a right. And then it kind of like, and I'm like, oh, can you see it? Nah, it's gone. It's gone. And we're like, shit. And then the first house, we were doing ceiling insulation. So we were spraying, like cool and cozy, spraying ceiling insulation and roofs. The next job we went to, the guy was an Air Force pilot in Vietnam. So we rocked up and we're like, oh, yep, sweet. And then we went in the house, we're talking to him. We're like, oh, you're in the Air Force flying jets and shit, right? So like, what are the coincidences? And we're like, yeah, we just seen this thing. And he's like, oh, well, I'll tell you. This is what he reckons. He goes, oh, I used to fly. He said he got his American citizenship so he could fly the some jets that would fly out of orbit and back into orbit back in Nam. And he's like, yeah, they were like full secret jets. People didn't even know they were real until like maybe the year 2000 or something. So he's like, yeah, we had that mad technology back then. And he's like, yeah. And he's like, I wouldn't be surprised. He kind of said, I wouldn't be surprised what you've seen. And apparently there was an Air Force base up there. So whatever. And it was sort of one of these things where, like, we've seen this. He was the next job. And it was like, what's the chances of that? You know what I mean? It's like a weird coincidence.
Yeah, if it's something to do with the Air Force base, I live right near Amberley. Like, you think you'd see them all the time. But the only time I've ever seen anything that's been unexplainable like that was back in South Australia when I lived there growing up. And that was, like you said, you see something for a couple of minutes. Mine was at night time at like 11 o'clock at night up on a mountainside. We'd driven up the highway to get up onto this lookout. And there was a couple of us sitting there and we were just mesmerized by the lights and the way they were moving, the formations they were going through. It's just, how can you explain it? Like you said,
and then people think really you're fucking mad. Because my boss told me when we got back from this job, just before because we used to do, I don't know, 3 or 4 different jobs a day, and then we'd get back to the yard and it'd be fucking late. And he was like, we didn't really talk about it. And then we got back to the yard at like 6 in the afternoon, and he's like, oh, about the UFO thing. He's like, how about we just don't say anything to anyone? And I'm like, what the fuck do you mean don't say anything to anyone? And I mean, I walk straight and I'm like, we seen a UFO today.
Better to be open with it.
Andy.
Fuck it.
Yeah, I'm like, fuck you, Andy. I seen a UFO. I'm not going to like keep it under the... And he's just like, shut up. They're going to think we're fucking mental. I'm like, come on, mate. You'll go mental not telling anyone. Nah.
You could, though. That's very true. You could easily. Well, keeping something bottled up inside for so long is not healthy for anyone, no matter what the subject is.
I don't know what I seen. Could have been fucking anything, man. I seen a drone last Sunday. We were at a backyard barbecue, right? And one of these drones delivered a package. First time I've ever seen it, man. I was like, whoa, there you go. And we're all just like, all the blokes are just like, fuck.
Aliens.
You know, like, drop this little yellow package down, and then it like dropped it in the backyard and flew away. Someone just got like a... Yeah, whoever's driving them drones around has got a sick job.
Yeah, a lot of them are autonomous, and they have like a supervisor monitoring like 10 different screens and checking to make sure everything's on path. A lot of the blokes I know from the mining industry, when I work in the mines, especially out Perth and up in the coal mines up north, they've got autonomous dozers, autonomous dump trucks, and they'll have 4 or 5 screens and one guy watching everything and then taking control if any warnings come up.
Yeah.
That seems to be the way of the future.
Yeah. There you go. That's when they'll need this universal income or something. I'm pretty sure we're not going to get a robot to do concreting anytime soon. I'll be right.
Yeah,
I'll pump out my mini-me's. I'll pump out my mini-me's and then I'll be like, then the robots can take over and I'll be on the fucking dole fishing with my kids every day. You know? I'll drive a drone. I'll drive a drone fishing rod out into the river, mate. All good. Oh, here we go. Dusty, have you covered the Yowies yet?
We're just about to get onto that.
Yeah, I've never seen a Yowie, so like, I guess I wish I had that experience. I don't know what would be
I'm going to grab a drink. I'll be back in a sec.
All right, should I wait? You want to see this footage? I'll just wait.
Yeah, fucking A, I want to see it. Yeah, I'll only be gone for a second.
Fucking oath, mate. Then I'll need to go grab another beer too. Check me, Trovo. First time ever streaming to Trovo. Looks like my one viewer's still there. Thanks for tuning in, Trovo. I don't know how this comment section works. Oh yeah, there is. Lacey. just joined your channel. I wonder if this is my Scottish Lacey. There you go. Bang. Thanks for tuning in, Lacey. Legend. I'm in Vic. And I've been screamed at by one. That's awesome, dude. I reckon, I don't know what would be more terrifying. I'm going on a hunting trip soon. It's coming up. We're going out west somewhere. I don't know. I mean, I know that there's Yowie sightings all the time in Ipswich. So, you know, I've gone out a few times to some of these Yowie sightings. Bang, here we go. You're back.
I'm back, brother.
Have you heard of the Yowies out at Devon Creek? Apparently there's been like Yowie. Yeah, there's Yowie sightings been out there. As soon as I found that out, I was like, I read the article and I was like, what? I looked up Devon Creek and I'm like, fuck, it's in Ipswich, I'm gone. And I was like, me and Black Lungs went down there straight away.
Fuck, you should have messaged me. I would have come out for geese.
We'll go down there. We'll have to go down there.
Yeah, fuck and yeah. I'll take my drone out and everything.
Yeah. We should go for a proper fucking Yowie hunt down there.
Fuck yeah.
Get the fucking war paint on, mate, and be like,
We'll get mistaken for him.
Yeah, fuck yeah. I was real close to buying a Yowie suit too for a while. All right, this is the Yowie bloke. Some dude. He's
Insist is the breakthrough.
Here we go.
Deep in the Gold Coast hinterland, a chance encounter these Yowie hunters insist is the breakthrough they've been searching for.
Randomly panning around, and there you have it. 2 of them. We were ecstatic. I mean, this was probably the best footage so far in Australia.
Buck and Dean say those blobs aren't human, but creatures 9 feet tall.
The first thing I asked when I got this footage was where was everyone in camp, and then I demanded their heat signatures.
We were kilometres into rough terrain, up in the mountains in the middle of the night.
The closest Dean Harrison has been in a 25-year quest that so far cost him $100,000. The bulk of it spent in Springbrook National Park.
They'll leave stick symbols around the tracks in the bush, and there'll be sticks in the ground.
The hunters say they captured the 2 Yowies on this state-of-the-art thermal imaging camera, which can pick up the heat signatures of any animal or creature quite clearly in dense bushland. As for physically capturing one...
Definitely trying to.
They'll need to if they're to convince the non-believers.
I think that's a load of bollocks.
Mine's possible, eh? Yeah, definitely possible.
Fucking oath, mate.
Be a story. Josh Ribberich, 7 News.
That's all we got. We'll give you a little taste. Channel 7, don't sue me, you fucking bastards. That makes me keen as fuck to get out there and find me a Yowie. I'm not going to spend $100,000 like that bloke, but...
No, he's full bore. He's full bore with it, full send.
25 years, bro, and $100,000. So he spent like $4,000 a year. He's probably just going out on the piss, like $4,000 seems reasonable. He's going out once a month, spending, you know, a couple of $100 with the boys, going on a camping trip, fucking getting up to no good.
Well, apparently there's video of one bending over to pick something up.
No shit. Is this in the comments section or what?
Yep. Yeah, CRF.
Oh, yeah, here we go. They didn't show the one. Yeah, okay. Sweet.
If you've got a link to that video, CRF, let us know.
Smash
it. Definitely be interested in seeing it.
I took down my beer bong, because it was like, I went to clean my beer bong. It used to be mounted right here where my old Dusty had it. And I was like, yeah, sick. I'll give it a clean out, and it was just full of disgusting mold. It was atrocious. Hypnotic. That's when I do my best streams, bro. I do a beer bong, and I'm like tripping on the fungi from the fucking filthiest beer bong on earth. Are you all good to man the fort? I'm going to go grab a beer. How do I do you? I can go.
I'm quite happy to man the fort, brother. Yeah, if you can find us a link, CRF, we're absolutely down to check it out and have a look at it. Because I've looked through some thermal sites and some infrared sites. That could very easily be a creature. Especially when you look at the size of the human signatures that they've obviously photoshopped in to be next to that creature. There's nothing else but a Yowie that isn't that fucking tall. It's just such an easy. Go about 12 minutes in. Righto. You're still muted, Dust.
I'm back. He's gone.
There you go.
No fooling on Dlive reckons. He said they can smoke openly now in New York. They have about a year to come up with a framework for stores. Oh, sweet. You wonder how, like, to me, that seems like moving towards freedom and like being positive, like a positive thing. And then you just look at so much negativity coming from America and you just go like, how did that legalization of marijuana just go like, didn't even get celebrated at all?
Yeah, because it's not it wasn't a nationwide thing, I think. Because it was left to each state to deal with. It's like, especially in Australia, I can speak from experience trying to get medicinal marijuana, even just the oil. Absolute nightmare to jump through all the hoops that you've got to go through. Then it's also got the framework of if you don't have a prescription, you can't have anything. Then you've got places like Canberra, and you can have a certain amount of buds on you now, and it's just like a misdemeanor. It's not even a full charge anymore. So it won't take long until the rest of Australia starts to get into that role with the prescription medication coming out. That it's just getting more people into the voting system and the political system that will voice that this isn't just about wanting to smoke weed because we're a bunch of stoners, that there are legitimate help. There is legitimate help that people get from taking this medication.
Yeah, for sure. That's it. No fooling reckons. I know half the cops in my town smoke weed anyway. I can now openly offer it to them if I feel like it.
Perfect.
That's funny. I want to get no fooling on one time.
Yeah, absolutely.
New York
Get as many
City.
of the boys on we can get in.
Bloody oath. Yeah, so I mean that Yowie, I guess we should the Yowie footage. What would you be more freaked out about? Like Yowies or aliens?
Aliens.
Aliens would be more of a trip.
Yeah.
Because then you think we're going to war.
Yowie's something on Earth that's more like a bear. So it's just another animal. Whereas aliens is like a whole, like you said, like a zzz. Yep.
Yeah, you're like, where the fuck did they come from? And then if it goes the like route of a interdimensional alien, then you're really gonna be like, whoa. That's kind of good. I mean, I kind of expect that. I expect both of these things to be real.
I think it's an easy sell on Yowies because they're just another animal. Like, how long did it take for other things to go extinct? like the Tasmanian tiger. The last
I
one
went
of
to the
those was
zoo
seen in the
down in
60s or 70s.
Yeah, for sure. I went down the zoo in Sydney when I was there last, and there was some weird ass Australian animals that are legit. And I just look at them and I'm like, whoa, that thing. If I come across that thing in the bush, I'll be like, that's a yowie. I'll be like, that's some kind of fucking little marsupial gremlin. I think the Aboriginals call them jungities. I'll be like, oh, that's a jungity for sure. You know what I mean? But it might just be some rare tree wallaby, red tree wallaby thing. And you'd be like, whoa, that thing's fucking...
Very easily.
Yeah. And if they found a yowie, you reckon someone would want to eat it? I guess if it's not... What do we only eat like fucking herbivores kind of thing, right? You don't eat meat eaters, so maybe no one's going to eat the bloody... We pray to God that all the aliens are vegetarians anyway.
Yeah, if they eat human meat, we're all fucked. No, that would probably be the only thing. And what was it called? Project Bluebeam, where they think the only thing that would unite the world together is for an alien invasion to happen. So,
is that the whole plan? Like, if we see aliens, it's like the disruption right now. I reckon it's a fake disruption. Like, I reckon COVID and all this critical race theory, critical gender theory, all the like chaos getting pushed by the left. See, I don't buy into the hype, and I just go like, it's not real. In the real world, we all get along like well enough, and generally people just judge each other whether they're a dickhead or they like them or not. And if you don't like them, you just go, yeah. You just like literally turn, and it's
and
like
face the other way.
Just and they don't exist anymore. That's like the real world. So like the hype we're seeing right now, which is all this divide, fear, negative. Maybe that's like, maybe that's the could be huge conspiracy. Drum it all up, so it's all this divide, and then it's like aliens are here now. We can all unite.
That was the basis of a project called Project Bluebeam that is in intelligence records.
Oh yeah,
yeah. They presented it. I think it was
like, now we have a common enemy or a common threat, maybe. That's beyond our what's No Fool and reckons critical race theory was essential in the ballot for my local school board elections earlier this month. It lost.
Good.
Yeah, that's good, man. They keep pushing that shit like hardcore over here. It's out of control. I don't know where that stuff's like, it is a huge disappointment. Like, if there's anything that I think is absolutely terrible, I think that this critical race theory and critical gender theory is worse than aliens. It's just like unnatural. It's like authoritarian getting pushed on people where you can't just go like, I don't want to participate. That's sort of like my thing. I just say like, I don't want to participate in this. I'm not interested. Leave me alone. And you know what I mean? And then this is there are two things where I just go like, the fuck? Too much. Not interested. I'm sure there's like 50% more. Most people don't want anything to do with that shit.
Yeah, it seems to be pushed by a very vocal minority. And I saw a short video today from a YouTube channel called Memology 101, and it's basically the students of color now going against white teachers because they push white supremacy upon the students of color. So
by giving them a C or something. because they didn't study.
For whatever
It's
reason,
just not gonna
they
be
may
good.
punish them. No, it's not. It's not healthy. It's not healthy for society at all.
No, it's not good because you need to. Yeah, it's like an excuse to be like, life's not easy. It's hard, full of challenges, right? We all know this is reality. So it's like people just want an excuse to tap out. You know what I mean? Or excuse to be a victim to then not to justify them not being responsible for their own lives. That's what it is. People are looking for an excuse or someone to blame, so then they're not responsible for their own.
Yeah, individual responsibility. Absolutely. Yeah,
they can palm off like, oh, my life's fucked. Oh, it's because of the Jews, or because of the white man is racist to me, or it's because because they're gay or something. So it's like I'm a victim, and the imaginary boogeyman is here to keep me down, and now I have my excuse to be a perpetual fucking loser without incrementally improving their lives. Like there's a story in the Bible where they talk about people get given. Jesus tells a parable, and he's like about some rich guy who leaves some servants. One guy gives him like 1 talent. The other servant, he gives him 2. The other one, he gives him 3. He comes back 12 months later and he's like, what'd you do with my money? With the talents I gave you? And the one with 1 talent buries it and goes, oh, I was afraid you were stingy, a stingy man. I didn't want to lose it or invest it, so I buried it. Here's your money back. The other 2 guys invested it, used what they had, and they were like, I've increased what you gave me. And he's like, yeah, well done, you guys. And the guy who didn't use what he had given him, he was like, nah, get away. I think he says, get away from me, you who breaks God's law or something. And like Jesus kind of tells these stories without a full explanation. And it's for us to kind of work out. But he's kind of like, whatever your lot is in life, you got to make the most of it. You know what I mean? So there's no... where now this critical race theory, critical gender theory is just an excuse. You know what I mean? It's an excuse to be a victim or something. I wonder if can we use aliens to be victims? You know what I mean? Be like, the aliens. It's impossible. Well, we can't beat them. They have an anti-gravity device. Let's just roll over. I don't know. Because it's like creating an imaginary boogeyman that's undefeatable. So you just roll over in their brain and just go like, I can't compete. I'm now justified to not participate, kind of thing.
It makes it easier to not participate.
Yeah. That's what it is. If I seen like a young person who was blaming, this is like something I don't like about the people who blame the Jews for everything. Because I always say, that's what BLM's saying about white people. And I just say, is that true? Is what BLM saying true? And I go, it's not true. It's all bullshit. And then I go, maybe what the people blaming the Jews for everything, I say, yeah, that's bullshit. Just like the BLM people are talking absolute bullshit. It's just an invention in our brain to find an excuse
to not have to work hard, to not have to be given handouts in life. Like I've been given a pretty shit lot, and I could be, oh woe me, life is so hard. I'm a double leg amputee. I'm never going to get as far as other people in life now. But it's so negative, it's not worth it. It creates more negativity just thinking about it. if I block it out, it's easier. It's easier to deal with. And
block it out.
And it makes the more positive things in my life seem even more positive.
I heard that dude, Tommy, some motivational speaker. Yeah, maybe. No, not Tommy Robinson. Some motivational speaker, Tony Robinson, maybe. He said something. He said, trading your expectations for appreciation. So it's just like, I don't know, appreciate what you do have. And like, I thought that helped me. You know what I mean? But I mean, in your circumstance, I always thought you were always good to have a beer with a positive dude. So then I was just like, you never have that mentality. Do you know what I mean? You never go there like, woe is me at all.
No,
so
because
it's just like, it's not there.
Don't get me wrong.
Of your character.
It was, and it took it took a while to get it worked out that I could be more positive, that I could appreciate more in life. Like, I feel blessed that I get a second chance at life. I feel blessed that I didn't get taken from this earth when I had my accident. It made me absolutely more grateful for my daughter, made me absolutely more grateful for my family. It could have easily have been I was a vegetable for the rest of my life. Like, I could have ended up with brain damage, or I could have ended up with a back injury. There was a couple of points where it was like, if this had been half a meter to the left in the accident or half a meter to the right, I wouldn't be here anymore. So working past that negativity took a lot of strength. And I think some people just don't have that mental strength to be able to work past the negativity. They just get like embalmed in it.
Well, now this is the thing about the critical race theory and critical gender theory. They celebrate, instead of fortifying a mentally strong mind, if someone's legitimately gone through something bad. So you have fortified a mentally strong mind, and now you're still able to do what you can do and be productive, move forward, inspire people, enjoy life.
Yep.
With what you've got, where the people who believe in critical race theory and critical gender theory are literally like celebrating their weakness and using it to manipulate other people for like brownie points, and being like, it's totally unhealthy.
No, it is unhealthy because negativity breeds more negativity. So the more they concentrate on that side of things, the longer it's going to take them to be able to fortify a stronger mental position than they already have.
Yeah. And I think years ago I think it was the Pope. I don't think it's the Pope we have now. I think it was the Pope beforehand. He said something like, practice being nice to people, because when you get old and you're tired and you're in pain, he's like, it's hard to be nice. So like, be a practitioner of being nice. And I was like, I thought about that, and I was like, yeah. All the things I do in my thinking, or surrounding myself with positive people, or reading and watching positive shit, it's all like practicing. I'm practicing it for when the shit hits the fan. I've already put it into place. You know what I mean? I've already put in place the fucking positive way to do life.
Yep.
Because life will throw every one of us handfuls of shit. Like, it's a matter of time. We're all going to be bald, fat, grey-haired, old men one day. You know what I mean? Like, we're all descending to a worse off. Like, what do we hit peak at? Maybe, 30, and then we start grey and receding hairline, and getting a bit fat around the guts, and then the descent slowly kicks in. You know what I mean? So it's like we've got to put in place the positive thinking lifestyle stuff, so when the shit comes, we're already like positioned to be like, yo, I'm ready to deal.
Make it easier to deal with. Yep.
You wonder how these people are going to fucking deal with alien next week when they do this. They tell us that aliens are real. They're going to have a full fucking mental flip out.
Well, maybe that's what they want.
More pressure on the system.
Jessica had a very, very good point. Nice costs nothing. It costs absolutely nothing to be nice. And it's easier for people to not feel that nice costs nothing, because it's taking time out of your day to be nice towards other people, to extend that generosity. But it's true. It costs nothing at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like the dude I was saying, the bloke who delivered my groceries yesterday, the Indian bloke. And I always just say, "How you going, mate? They're keeping you busy, you know, whatever." Kind of something I always say to everyone. Like, you know what I mean? Keeping you busy, mate. And then they'll tell you like, "Oh yeah, I mean, I'm flat out, blah blah blah," and then they just rattle on. And we had a nice conversation. Do you know what I mean? And I walked away like encouraged. I reckon he walked away encouraged. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
It was fucking great. These blokes in here, they love it, mate. There you go. The Yowie Robbins is a UFO critical race theory. Yeah, we've like segued from that's the way you have to do it these days, to go under the YouTube algorithm so you don't get shadow banned, mate. You have to say it's about aliens and Yowies, and then you talk about critical race theory and critical gender theory. We've worked it out. It was all a giant plan. No.
Trust the plan.
No fooling, reckon some bros bring up Israel with me all the time, and I'm like, bro, you bring up Israel more than I do, and I actually have family there. There you go.
The Lost
Coals
Boys.
up.
That's what you can call them. That's what you can call the trolls, the Lost Boys.
Yeah. Coals up just followed me on Dlive. Thanks, mate. And I'll definitely, I reckon we should wrap it up, but because we're going over an hour and a half. But thanks for coming on, bro. I guess it's like, it's always good to do a live stream on a regular time slot, because with shadow banning and then, you know, people, you get more viewers and all that. And that's the way it kind of works with shadow banning. The only way to work around it is to share a link and do it on the regular, which this show has not been on its regular time slot for, I don't know, 3 months or longer. But thanks for coming on, bro. It's like great to have someone to come on and banter with and talk shit and have a beer.
Like I said, I'll be here anytime you want, mate.
Bloody oath. And thanks to the Dlive, one new bloke sub. We've got a few people watching. I'll see if I can distribute my treasure chest. But it doesn't let me open it for some reason. Or is it? Oh, yeah. 20 seconds on the clock. It will redistribute my treasure chest. And thanks to Trovo Lacey for following. There we go. My first ever sub on Trovo. That's fucking awesome. I think I'll have a crack at Trovo, because I could have a go at Twitch. But I don't know.
Twitch is way more PC, man. You got to have a very
watch what you're talking about.
Yeah,
it's sort of like, I think the other day I was looking at my I was looking at my Dlive and I'm like, how the hell did they remonetize me? And I'm like, oh, that's pretty good. And then I went to look through the YouTube terms of service or whatever. And I was like, I wonder if I could get my channel remonetized on YouTube. And I looked at the fucking list of things that, you know, and I was like, whoa, fuck, you can't say or do anything on YouTube. Like, they do not want, you can have, like, realistically, they could shut down this channel for this video.
Do you know what the funniest thing is, though? Twitch can have hot tub streams, and that's like broadcast on the front page of Twitch.
Porn. I noticed that the other day. I set up my Twitch and I was like, oh yeah, I'll set it up, bang, and then I'm like, whoa, what's this fucking old love in a hot tub?
Some of the most popular streamers on the platform, all they do is hot tub streams, and it's
so they just sit there talking shit.
They do what we do, but in a hot tub with bikinis on. Yep.
Fuck! I wish I was in a hot tub. Nah.
Yeah, I'd love to be in a hot tub right now doing this.
Yeah, that's so funny. Yeah. So I mean, I think tonight, and then I went to do this live tonight, and I think it only lets me stream to 3 different things. So then I was like, I could have gone Twitch, but I was like, nah, fuck it. I'll just go Trovo. I think Trovo, I know a few of the boys from Murder the Media have gone over to Trovo, so I was like, yeah, I'll give it a crack. If they're on there and they're still kicking, then might be better to invest in it. Fooling reckons, I feel like Twitch would be the place where I could play some video games and make jokes about how I'm shooting commies.
It would be.
Yeah.
You could probably get away with that. Yeah.
Sweet. We'll have to go get some. We should we should get Metal Slug or something, and we'll do a Twitch where we're just like playing Metal Slug, like just the old school arcade game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Here we go. You can say the N-word during a YouTube stream as long as you delete the broadcast.
No, you can't.
And then that,
you can't.
3 different platforms, yeah.
3 different platforms,
that's right.
Not people.
Yeah.
The Dusty Bogan, though, it's such a good fucking persona. And I get that people, when they hear that you're from New Zealand, that they may think, oh, it's a fake accent or whatever. And it's like, no, you've been living here longer than you ever spent in New Zealand. So, of course, you're going to have an Australian accent.
I was born in New Zealand. We came straight here. I lived in Australia from like 1 to 5 years old. I had an Australian accent. I went to New Zealand. I lived in New Zealand from grade 1 to year 5. And I was the Aussie kid. I was the Aussie kid with an Aussie accent. And they gave me shit for being an Aussie. And then I came here. I came back here.
And you get shit for being a Kiwi. You can't fucking win, brother.
It's all good, mate. It's all good. But like in my bio, I'd say I'm a proudest New Zealand Australian or something like that. You know what I mean? But good as gold, mate. I think I took the name Dusty Bogan from always being hungover when I'd stream. Nah, drunk or hungover. I'm not drinking as much now, I swear, dude. I'm like a saint. 3 beers tonight, but yeah, haven't been drinking. Hopefully we can get to the pub next weekend. I'm keen, and it would have been a while, but we'll have to hit that up. I'll send you a text message, mate. I'm keen. We're going to tee that up. We'll get Black Lungs and all the boys together.
Yeah, I'll bring the drone out. We'll do some fucking filming and with the drone and everything, man. Get some daytime shots. Everything.
We should. All right, brother. Well, I reckon we wrap it up, and I'll catch you. I'll let you know next time I stream.
Yeah, just send me a message, bro.
All right, good as gold. Thanks, Trovo, Dlive, and YouTube. And I don't know when we're going to go live again. This is probably like a lucky one-off, but catches randomly.
We'll be back. We'll be back.
See you later. You.
Peace out.